Welcome to Real Estate U with Lettiann.
And welcome back, everyone. Real Estate U with Lettiann here. And I'd also like to welcome back Joshua Jolly. Hey, Joshua.
Thank you. Great to be back.
Yeah, and I so enjoyed our first episode where, just to recap, Joshua and his partners invested, actually collected some funds and purchased a house. I'm making it sound really simple. On the courthouse steps, it was actually a tax...
Delinquent auction?
The annual tax delinquent auction.
Yep.
Yes. So where we left off was you gavel down, the house is yours.
Yep.
You went back, you did all the appropriate things in the court, and a couple months later, all of a sudden you've got the keys and here you go.
Yeah.
So I'd probably have goosebumps. Walking up to you bought a house sight unseen,
right?
Although you did see the exterior, which is good. So what happened next?
So we got the keys. You basically get a locksmith to come out, switch out the locks, and let you in. And you have all the paperwork, of course, so that they can see that this is not breaking and entering or something, some racket like that. But so the locksmith comes out. If there's tenants and they haven't left the premises, the sheriff will actually come out and
that happens.
Ask people.
Well, I've
to
heard
leave.
About sheriffs accompanying realtors and investors because
renters that are delinquent.
Oh yeah. Do they know that they should have been gone maybe last week or by Friday or?
They know. They know. They get so many notices and
do they
know
just?
That
Why don't they leave?
In the terms of the auction situation or anything, people want a free place to live, and if it's wintertime especially,
gotcha.
Like people don't want to leave.
It's generally probably a sad situation.
Yeah.
So, but that didn't happen to you here. So
No.
you've got your locksmith. You've got some guys ready to really tackle what's inside because you weren't sure.
Right.
And what happened?
So we got the keys. We walked inside, and we were blown away that people could be this disastrous in terms of a living style and a living situation. The basement was full of trash and garbage and junk, and the whole house was just like that. It smelled like cat pee everywhere. The cat jumped out of the sofa that was left behind. And so we had our little gas mask type goggle masks on, and
why did
respirator.
you do that? But did you think asbestos, or were you thinking
you just
meth,
don't know, mold,
mold,
anything?
Just
you
not sure.
Protect your lungs, and
safety first.
Yeah, I'm big on not breathing mold, and so you don't.
Are you big on that?
Yeah, I don't.
That'd be something to be big on.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty stuff. So. Yeah, we went in prepared like that.
Was your first, what was the first word in your head? Were you like to your investor partners, score? Or were you like, okay, let's dig a little deeper?
I wasn't sure what to expect. I just wanted them to be happy,
Okay.
and this place was just, ugh. And so being my first time through, I'm just like, okay, how are we perceiving this? What are we thinking? How are we going to, flip this and make some money?
Why didn't people take their things? I saw some pictures, and I think we're going to show some before and after pictures, but I saw a lot of personal items. Why weren't those taken, including the cat? But then I heard there was a bigger cat there.
Right. Yeah. So,
did a neighbor tell you? This is crazy.
Yeah. So, we were talking with the neighbor one day, and we're like, so what was the deal with these people? How come they lost their home? They didn't pay their taxes. What was going on here? And they said, yeah, they were dealing drugs and different things. And they had a bobcat that they would let into the backyard on a chain. And it's not every day that you have a neighbor with a bobcat. And that was just
That's just wrong
so crazy that I'd never heard anything quite like that. But it's like, why would you want to keep
Do you think the little cat that jumped out at you from the couch and the big cat on a chain were friends?
Definitely friends.
Do you think they were?
I have no idea.
Can you imagine that? Like a little cat sees like this,
Yeah, I have no idea. But
sorry, going down rabbit holes. Stick to the program.
So yeah, this place was a disaster, and you opened up a little door, like the little kitchen cabinets, drawers where you put your silverware or whatever, and there was like mounds of cockroach carcasses.
Do we have some of those before and after photos to show?
And so it was just like mind blowing some of the stuff they had up on the walls and the ceiling. They had black like carcasses from the spiders eating the insects and what was left, and it was just these black. You thought it was mold, but it was actually insect carcass, and cobwebs everywhere. I was like taking a broom through and just like making it so you could walk through, and it would just be caked. Like you couldn't even see the broom anymore at a certain point because it was just like a haunted house.
So you're wondering how could someone live in these types of conditions?
They were there a month before, right? Because I went and checked, and like the people's cars were in the driveway and all of that stuff. And I'm like, they were living in this? Like how? Like what person on the planet is okay in accepting like this living situation? But I mean, it goes into the whole psyche of like the fact that their house was at the tax auction and not being responsible and doing who knows what with their life. And
meth enthusiasts.
Yeah.
What's the big cha-ching item you saw? Because I know it's dirty, it's cobwebs, you have your gas mask on, you're all protected, but really, and from a financial standpoint, did you walk in and go, whoa, cha-ching, that's going to be a big ticket item, and ooh, wow, all that drywall's, all that sheetrock's busted? Or what was the biggest ticket item that you saw on that first day in your mind?
The kitchen was absolute disaster.
And that's the most important room in the house. Well,
Yeah.
second most important room in the house, but that's another podcast.
Okay. What's the first? You got me so curious. But everything had to be redone. Everything. The kitchen, the bathrooms, everything. So it wasn't like one thing. It was just like the whole house needs
It's like a redo.
help. Yeah.
So you tore walls down and whatnot.
We tore down some walls to open it up for the kitchen and that layout and everything. And then we redid the floors. We did the sheetrock everywhere. Mm-hmm. We redid the basement, new carpet, new paint, obviously, appliances, like the whole nine.
So it's almost a new interior. Totally.
They got a brand new home.
Yeah.
Aside from piping, and those kind of things. But
so a lot of people will call me or will be out or seeing somebody and they'll go, I want to flip a house. Mm-hmm. So it's a sexy, it sounds so sexy. Like, well, me and my...
Chip and Joanna, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and we're going to flip a house. Oh, it'll be done in 29 days. Oh, we have that extra day. It's 30 days. How long did your project take?
Well, if you want to count from the auction to sell, it was close to a year.
That's a lot. I mean, time is money.
Right.
Right.
So you have to have that money that's tied up, and then you may or may not get the property, and then you get it. And so that was February-ish. And then it took us probably to June or July, we ended up closing.
And was it profitable for you?
It was profitable in the sense that we made more money than we spent. But in terms of the time investment, there was hours upon hours, and I don't know how much it was in terms of profitability, but it was a great learning experience.
And it was your first one?
Yeah.
So that in and of itself, I always say a learning curve for trying something new, and you still walked away in the black instead of the red, minus, of course, all of your time during those months.
Right.
But you hired contractors, licensed professionals?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because a lot of people say, oh, well, we're just going to save the money and do it ourselves. And I'm like, here's somebody's number. It's a nightmare Festivus. Don't take it from me. Do it from someone who's already done it. Let them give you that advice.
Yeah. And I would say if you know a contractor that's good, integrity, responsible, and you can get things done for a good price, absolutely get into it, because relationship is the biggest element here, and knowing who you're working with and that they have the integrity to follow through and do a great job for you.
And have it done right.
No
shortcuts, because you get what you pay for.
Right.
And if you're cheaper on the front, you're going to pay for it in the back.
100%. And we learned all kinds of issues with different people. Not everybody is Chip and Joanna, Gaines, and trustworthy and do an amazing job like that. And so
I'm going to interrupt Joshua. So just to interject, right now we're on Facebook Live. Of course, this episode will air at a later time on a different platform. But anyone watching now on Facebook Live, if you do know of a great contractor, maybe you could put their name in the comments below, because people watching might really want to know, well, my contractor maybe isn't so great, but if someone is aware of a better contractor, or someone, like say me and my husband flip, for example, we don't, but if you know of someone, put their name in the comment. So would you do it again, Joshua?
Under the right circumstances with the right people, I would absolutely do it again. It's all about relationships, and so having those in place are key.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's so true in life. And I got to thinking after our first episode, do you have a real estate license?
I don't.
And why don't you?
That's a great question. Have
you considered it?
Once upon a time I did, but not recently. But what do you think?
Well, oftentimes people that are investing or flipping or securing investors, they'll get a real estate license for various reasons. So I failed to ask you that the first time if you had a license. I think you'd be a wonderful candidate. It doesn't mean you have to be a full, there's so many things to do with a real estate license. And I know I talked before about, there's 11,000 plus licensed persons in the Kansas City metro area,
wow.
but it's saturated. A lot of them are fly-by-nights, but a lot of them are getting their license for different reasons. Like maybe it will help you along the way. Maybe you're going to continue to invest in property, and your commissions come back to you, and you can buy the appliances with your commission splits,
right?
Or your cut or what have you. So when would you like to come aboard?
Hey, well, if I was going to get into the real estate game, I definitely want to work with someone like yourself. Just seeing some of the guests you've had are really professional, and you're definitely a people person, which I think is priority in especially this space. And so it would be a real honor and a privilege to work with you. So that's something we could talk about. I'd be open to discussing that further and how that would actually work. What's the process to get a license, and how long does that take?
Are you asking me that, or we want to talk about that off camera? Do we have time, Andy? Okay. So, and I know you graduated college at USC in California, of course, Southern California, and you're a surfer dude. And Josh, I learned, was also in Playboy in 2008.
2002, I don't really talk about that too much. It was an editorial and fully respectable.
Yeah, it was very respectable, but that's fun. So, but you are a surfer. I'm just simply saying it's likely the same across the country, but here in Kansas and Missouri, you will go to a pre-license class. So you need a certain number of hours for a pre-license course is what it's called. And it's reciprocal for both Kansas and Missouri. So it's not like you have to take the course for Kansas and then you go back the whole next week for the same thing for Missouri.
Okay.
So I strongly encourage people to go to Career Education Systems. They are also Brad Barker, I love you, and I will tag you in this. Richard and Peggy, all of you folks, and Conrad, who is he's also an instructor, our bankruptcy attorney that was here from Miller Law Firm on a previous episode. They only teach you what you need to pass the test. They're not going to, and they have the highest pass rate. So you're going to do this if you go all day, every day. You go 5 days. Sometimes it's 5.5 days, or you can take night classes. So you get your certificate for attending the course that you've completed the course.
Right.
Then you're able to schedule the test. And you live in Missouri presently.
Yep.
Okay. So you would then get your Missouri license first, because it's the state where we reside that you have to get first.
Okay.
So you would then schedule your Missouri test. You'd get, prior to that, you get fingerprinted and some other things that the government needs and the county. You pass your Missouri test, you've got your certificate that now you have to find a place to hang your license, which will be here. So you don't even have to think about that part.
Okay.
So then I always encourage people, get your Kansas license as quickly as possible, because you're just fresh out of the pre-license. You already have memorized and studied the answers to the test. All you have to do is then take the Kansas law class, and it's either half a day or 1 full day. That's the only additional type of pre-licensing you'd need.
Okay.
As soon as you get that certificate, Kansas tax, I'm pretty sure is what it is, because it's a little bit different than Missouri. Schedule your Kansas test. You pass that test, you're ready to go.
Wow.
So, and we can talk about all the logistics of that and how that works. But
that'd be really interesting to hear more about.
I mean, who you work with matters. There's a lot of big boxes. They take anybody's license. Like, we'll love to take your license and hang it on our wall here. And if you've seen some of the other episodes, We take real estate really personally here. My associates take it, our associates, I hate to say our associates, because I tell each of them we are better together, because I'm going to learn something from Joshua, and Josh is going to learn something from me, and we're going to learn something from Judith and Katie and Mike, just by the experiences that we share.
Right.
And also, too, as broker owner, I mentor and support the agents to the point of going on appointments with them, even if they're comfortable. But like I've said before, a second set of eyes and ears is always beneficial. I'm here to help them succeed. So if you process and digest this conversation later and you decide you want to get a license, you tell me what you want to do with it, and then I'll know, and I'll be able to help you get where you want to go with it. Yeah,
I think I would like to talk about that later. And I think one of the things that I really notice about you is you're all about learning and continually learning, and you have a coach and you coach other people, and I think that's just really commendable, and you got to stay on the cutting edge to be the best in your profession. So that's really great.
Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that. And it's more coaching. You said the word coaching. It's not management, because you're an individual contractor. You have your own business. I'm just here to be sure you succeed and that you're doing the right thing. But the responsibility is all on you. I'm just here to support.
Right. That's great.
But just really quickly too, I also have a company called Keiko. My two second favorite states, California and Colorado, Keiko. So that is for referral licenses only. So let's say, you're not sure how long you're going to be in Missouri, but you know a lot of people, or you're not really sure you want to do full-time real estate, pay the dues, really be involved, and eat, sleep, and drink it like we do here. No problem at all. Your license would then go to Keiko, which is our referral company here in-house. You get paid to pick up the phone. Now, granted, when you are in that type of status, you cannot show houses, you cannot negotiate deals, you cannot have open houses. You're not an active, for lack of a better word, real estate agent. But you have come this far, and you are licensed, and you've done everything that you've done your due diligence, but now you get paid to pick up the phone. So you're out doing, because I know you have other businesses that are very successful, and you may not want to be a full-time realtor, but you pick up the phone, you refer somebody to us, you still get paid for that phone call.
Oh, that's fun.
Right. Or you're purchasing, if it's your own personal residence here at our office, no commissions are paid.
Okay.
I mean, the company gets nothing. But investment, just so you know, Mr. Investor, that's not the case for investment properties, or I'd be out of business, because
everybody would be here.
Yeah, you'd be buying investment properties nonstop, and yeah. So my point is, even with your investment properties, you're still getting some change back that could pay for those appliances in the houses that you're flipping. So
that's a great point.
I mean, you can't lose by getting the license. You just can't.
Right.
Just don't abuse it. And
no, that's something to really consider. And I appreciate you telling me more about that and letting me know that that's an option even. You
seem like you'd be an above board, because yesterday, Julie Gadwood and I were talking about bad. We were like, we don't mean bad, like bad kid, bad realtor. So when I was driving home last night, I thought, well, above board, below subpar, be the best you can be. If you're going to choose to be in this business for your livelihood, why not give it your all? Right. But there are options for people like you who have other companies, including making investments and doing and flipping houses, that license is still going to benefit you, and you can still make money without really investing too much time. Okay. Yeah. I'm all ears. So all right. Thank you. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Yeah, great to be here. Josh, thanks so much for coming back. My pleasure. And we appreciate you showing your before and after pictures, and I'm very intrigued about the courthouse steps, and I hope to be there one day just to witness it. So terrific. Thanks so much. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.